and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is my second episode, and thank you so much everybody that is joining me again and everybody that liked the first video and decided to join me again. Welcome back. I hope that you guys have been able to like and subscribe to the channel. And today's episode is going to be about accountability. My boyfriend absolutely loves this word. This is his word of the day every day. But accountability is important to me in the mental health field because I feel like it's so important for you to recognize the role that you play in your life. So I just want to start by defining accountability. According to Webster's dictionary, accountability is the quality or state of being accountable, especially an obligation or willingness to accept responsibility or to account for one's actions. So accountability, in short, is just, like I said, accepting the role that you play in your life, accepting the power that you have to shift, to change things, to do better, to want more. Accountability is just making yourself your own hero. And I say this, and I don't want anybody to confuse accountability with victim blaming. Because when it comes to mental health, oftentimes we will blame ourselves for things. So when I say take personal responsibility, I never mean take personal responsibility for traumas and trials and tribulations that were completely out of your control. I don't want anybody to victim blame themselves or take unnecessary responsibility for things that were completely out of your control, that had absolutely nothing to do with you and that have affected you. A lot of times we like to take on responsibility things to make ourselves feel better. Oh, well, if I didn't do this, that wouldn't have happened. If I wasn't in this place at this time, then this would have never happened to me. So I could only blame myself. If I never befriended that person, they wouldn't have done that. We often do that to make ourselves feel better. But at the end of the day, you cannot control the things that other people do to you. You cannot control some of the things that happen in your life. Sometimes things are completely out of our control, especially as children. Different trials and traumas that happen to you as children, completely out of your control. And I even understand when it comes to relationships, romantic relationships, a lot of people blame themselves for things. And I know that it's important definitely to look for positive traits and to be able to recognize, bad traits in a person or someone that may be manipulative or may showed you anger issues earlier on, and then you take the blame for someone that beats you or any type of abusive case. But I never want you to take on accountability in that way. I never want you to deem yourself responsible for other people's actions. When I say accountability, I mean being your own hero. We all go through things. We have all been resilient through some type of trauma, some type of trial and tribulation. And at some point in your life, you hit a wall. And sometimes we use those traumas, trials, and tribulations to make excuses for the wall or the excuses for the position that we're currently in that we don't like. Oh, well, you know what? I didn't have parents when I was younger, so this behavior is acceptable. I didn't have a role model when I was younger, so I'm just going to do these completely terrible behaviors and accept these characteristics that I have that are unhealthy for me and completely terrible to other people. And those are just excuses. We're using our traumas and different things as excuses. And I never want that to be a thing for anyone. I want everyone to be able to be their own hero and for them to be able to move on through things and just enlighten themselves. So when I say accountability, I mean at this point in your life, with the things that you have been able to get through and get over, are you making an excuse for anything? Are you using something in your past that is, completely traumatic, but are you using it as, an excuse for poor behavior right now? Are you using something as an excuse for your lack of success and where you are in your life right now? Or are you using it to be able to treat people badly because you've been treated badly in the past? When I say accountability, again, I really mean taking personal responsibility for right now. You cannot change the past. Nobody can. Nobody can go back. Nobody can decide that, you know what, I'm going to undo this. This didn't happen. It happened. It happened. And the most powerful thing that you can do is to recognize that it happened, to accept and voice how it has affected you, and to literally move on. Take your personal responsibility for how you're going to react in this situation at this point. You may have not had any control over how it happened, what happened, and of course you can't change it, but what you can change is how you react. Make sure that you are being your hero. Nobody is going to come save you. I know a lot of us are waiting for that, especially a lot of us with childhood trauma. A lot of us with childhood trauma are waiting for somebody, or we have this chip on our shoulder like somebody owes us something. And I completely resonate with that feeling. I've been there before. You know what? No, I'm a kid, or I'm a young adult. You know what? You're an adult. You're older than me. You do this. You create the relationship. You fix what you broke. You come to me with a resolution. I don't have to do this. Sometimes we all have to be mature in a situation and own up to things. If you want to create a relationship with somebody that you didn't have a relationship with, then you do that. You take responsibility for how you're going to move forward. If you want to heal some past trauma and some horrible things that happened to you, you reach out to your insurance company to see if there is, somebody within your district that does counseling that you can talk to. You talk to a friend about something. Just take responsibility, guys. It's so important. It's so easy to get caught up in the fact of blaming for why and when and how. And this is not to discredit the fact that something may have harmed you. Something may have been detrimental to you completely. But at this point, there's nothing that you can do about it except for move forward. And it is your responsibility, and only your responsibility, to move forward for yourself. And that's why accountability is so important. And I just want everybody to take a minute today to just think about, what has affected me in my past that I use as an excuse now. Something that is really, is a big one for me, is my health. I used to use my health as an excuse. Oh, my word. And I don't mean like, I use diabetes sometimes. Like, oh, I might be late to work. My sugar's running low. But not even just that. I mean, sometimes, oh, you know what? I can't do that. I've been really sick, or I can't hold this down because I've been really sick, or, but at this point, what am I doing to not be really sick? How am I going to change that? Clearly, this is something that is affecting me, and it has continuously been affecting me. How am I going to change that? How am I going to take responsibility at this point? What am I going to do about that? So I just want everybody to take a minute, write something down. Even if you think about it, if you're on your way to work, listening to this on your way to work, listening to this in your living room, wherever, take a minute and really think about, what? This happened to me. Maybe I'm over it. Maybe I'm not over it. If you're not over it, address it. If you are over it, are you still holding people to it? Are you still holding things that you haven't accomplished, or negative characteristics that you had? Are you using that as an excuse? And at this point, how can you move forward from that? And again, I thank you guys for tuning in this week. And thank you guys so much for your support. I got amazing feedback, great comments. I got great subjects, things that people want to hear about. And I'll definitely keep different things coming. Thank you guys so much. And I'll see you guys next week.